Parenthood of Illinois is saying it plans to keep providing reproductive care despite potential funding cuts. Congress on Thursday passed DT's so-called BBB, which DT is expected to sign into law. The tax and spending plan cuts federal funding for services such as food aid and Medicaid, as well as Planned Parenthood. In a statement Thursday, Planned Parenthood of Illinois said it will keep providing all types of sexual health and reproductive services that the organization says patients cannot go without. Nearly $20 million in grants will be awarded to more than 600 Illinois public libraries. Illinois Secretary of State and State Librarian Alexi Giannoulias announced on Tuesday. The public library grants come as libraries nationwide face federal funding cuts by DT. The Secretary of State's office is awarding nearly $18 million in per capita grants to 639 public libraries statewide. The funds can be used to support resources and services, including books, ebooks, online resources, and internet access. Chicago Public Library will receive about $4.5 million in per capita grant funding. Funding amounts were calculated according to a statutory formula based on the population of each community, according to the Secretary of State's office. Please visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. You can subscribe and follow us on Fanbase, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Spotify, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Also, subscribe and follow our YouTube channel. Hi, YouTube people, to view us live and receive reminders when we're on the air. We'll be right back.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we've created a Patreon Family Meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the Family Meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, tfmradioshow.com, and click the link.
Hi, I'm Malcolm Grant, Eric Grant's son. I listen to the Family Meeting.
This is Melanie Martin Ware, Howard University alumni, class of 1990. I listen to the Family Meeting.
Welcome to the worldwide headquarters of the Family Meeting. Family Meeting time, y'all.
No.
You sound like you took a breath there, like you were getting ready to say something.
No, just trying to get situated.
Well, yeah, we had to rush in here today. Your boy, for reasons unstated, forgot his key to the office here. So
why don't you keep all your keys on the same?
I do. That's not the problem. Keeping them together is not the problem.
Oh, okay.
Keeping it together is the problem. Yeah.
Keep it together. Keep it together. Keep it together.
So this is what you do. You go to the website and visit that and see stuff. You also go to the social media bug and do that stuff that Michelle said. Do that too.
Yeah.
Also, the lines fill quickly. The number is 773-763-9278. 773-9278. And what did I forget there? Anything?
No, but you reminded me to get the call sheet up.
Okay. Get and the golf outing. There's that.
There's that.
The golf outing thing. You can go to the website, tfmradioshow.com.
August 1st.
Register for the golf outing.
Please do.
And carrying on and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do that too. All right. The one thing I didn't get to this week because I was traveling was to post the questions.
You didn't
last
do
week.
that. Mm-hmm.
But I was because I was thinking about it though. And for those of you who were here last week, you know what questions I'm talking about. Because I actually want an answer to these questions. If only to hear what people say, you know. The questions are statements. I get that. We've said that. But I think it'd be interesting to get the answers, don't you?
I think you should mention the rule that you have. You don't, the nuance that you want it to be pretty black and white, yes?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's an answer, right? You can, I mean, if you have other issues, matters, or nuances that you want to address along the way, Fine. But answer the question first.
Fine.
Answer the question first. I mean, really, right? You've seen conversations like that, right? Where, sometimes there are gotcha moments where somebody asks them a question, or whataboutism or something like that.
Right.
Just answer the question first. Do that first. And then we can talk about the nuances. Is that fair? Go ahead. Say it.
It's not unfair, but it's
What?
let's just wait till people call, because you're just pretty, there is gray to almost everything.
I think what I just said was I agree that there's gray.
Yeah, but you don't want the answer to be in the gray. You want the answer, and then you want the gray. When I feel like the gray is part of the answer.
It's not, though. It really isn't, because the questions I feel are pretty straightforward.
Yes.
They're pretty straightforward questions. They're loaded questions.
Yes, they are.
How about the first one? What do you have to do to be recognized as a terrorist or a savage?
And see, that's full of nuance.
Okay, tell me about the nuance then.
I mean, for us, what is a terrorist, right? Somebody who terrorizes people. So
there's a definition for terrorist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we know what the definition is, and we know that it's not applied to all people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, to me, that's the nuance, right? Because
no. But then you missed the point then, because we're talking about the rules.
But the rules aren't the same for everybody either, Eric.
That's largely the point. That's why I need you to tell me what the rule is, because I can't tell, based on the definition, how you're determining who is and who isn't. We know the definition. We can all look up the definition. What happened?
Right. Nothing.
We know the definition of a terrorist, don't we?
Yes.
You can Google that.
Yes.
You can find out the definition of a terrorist.
Yes.
That's not the problem. The problem is that, okay, I don't understand, if that's the definition, how sometimes when people engage in those acts that are defined as terrorism, they're called a terrorist. And when others do it, they're not.
Right.
So what's the rule then? How do we determine what is and what isn't a terrorist?
Well, who's making the rules?
We're using the definition. The definition of a terrorist says that you engage in doing this.
Right. And
whatever that is. And y'all take the opportunity to look it up. I don't need to look it up.
Right. So the man in Minnesota that killed the representative and her husband should be considered a terrorist, but he is not.
He's not. So that's what creates confusion around the rules. So tell me why he isn't, and why others are. What are the rules? So there is no nuance. Why isn't he a terrorist?
Because
how about if I ask
white?
Is it that straightforward?
I think so.
Is that what you guys think too? Because he's white? So you're only a terrorist if you're not white? Is that the rule?
I mean, why isn't the KKK registered as a terrorist organization?
Why?
Because they're white people.
Okay, so is that the rule then? If you're white, you can't be a terrorist.
Well, where do the rules come from?
Can't answer a question with a question. Is that the rule? If you're white, you can't be a terrorist. Is that the rule?
That's my assumption. It's not. I don't know if it's a rule.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. But you don't know the rules, right?
I don't know the rules. I know what I think the rules are.
What do you think they are?
I'm thinking of it in what I think the right way would be, that guy is a terrorist. He should be considered a terrorist.
But he's not. He's not considered a terrorist. He's not called a terrorist widely.
Right.
So there's a rule that we're missing somehow that it excludes him from being a terrorist. Is it because he's white?
I mean, did they ever call the Oklahoma City bomber a terrorist?
Good question. I don't know. And so there's two things you could say about that. Can you be a terrorist who engages in terrorist acts, or can you engage in terrorist acts and not be a terrorist?
No.
You would think that, wouldn't you? But somehow or another, because I think that this guy in Minnesota So I think there's a law against terrorist acts, right?
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
it makes it confusing,
For us.
right? If you don't know the rules, maybe we should look that up. What's the law say about a terrorist act?
Okay. I'll do that right now.
Right. And then so now you've got in the hands of the legal people, the not the public defenders, but the prosecutors. They get to determine what they're charging people with, right?
Yep.
And so how do they determine? What's the rule? How do they determine when a person is a terrorist?
A terrorist act is generally defined as the use or threat of violence against people or property intended to intimidate or coerce a government or civilian population to achieve a political, religious, or ideological goal.
Glad. You know what I want you to do for me? I want you to read that again. This time slower.
A terrorist act is generally defined as the use or threat of violence against people or property intended to intimidate or coerce a government or civilian population to achieve a political, religious, or ideological goal.
Okay, so then if that's the case, you guys heard that definition. You can play the tape back if you'd like. Wouldn't that make you guys president a terrorist?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. Let me see if I can make you confounded here. I can confound you here. So he threatened that South African dude who makes cars with deportation.
Yeah. Yes,
Right?
he did.
So is that not a terrorist act?
I would say, yes, you could consider it that way.
My questions are not rhetorical.
No.
It makes you think, right? What I was watching, and I hate watching this channel, the History Channel, because they're basically a propaganda channel.
Oh.
They reinforce all of the historical lies that have been taught.
Really?
They sensationalize, and I can't say all the time, but most of the time. They were doing a piece on Native Americans. I think it was Sitting Bull, but they did a thing on Sitting Bull, I think, yesterday that I was watching. And so at some point when Ulysses S. Grant was the president, and his military couldn't gain ground against the Native Americans in the West, they decided, let's just starve them to death by killing all the damn bison.
Wow.
So we had something like 1 million bison, and they killed to the point where they were down to a couple of thousand.
That's just evil. It's so evil.
And they just killed them and let them rot. They didn't
Ugh.
even use the fur or
Of
the
course
meat or
not.
anything.
Yep.
With the purposes of chasing Native Americans into reservations. In fact, they passed a law that said any Native American who does not go to a designated reservation, he or she will be considered an enemy combatant and will be treated as such. That's what this country did to those people, right? But the way they presented it was, that act was matter of fact, because it was about Sitting Bull, or whoever the Native American leader they were talking about. And pardon me for not remembering. So they were focused on what he did. And so they were focused on his resistance. They didn't spend any time talking about how ridiculous it is to treat people like that. So they just pass over what is otherwise considered a what? A terrorist act.
Mm-hmm. Genocide.
Genocide. How about the G word?
Yeah. Want to get rid of a whole block of people. That's, yeah.
They talked about, I bet you never knew this because I didn't know it either. Buffalo Bill.
What?
You know how he got his name? He killed the most bison.
Oh.
That's what he did.
During that time?
During that time.
Oh, no.
He was skilled at killing buffalo and bison.
Oh.
So he was famous for having killed so many of them. He was famous for being able to kill them with one shot from a horse. And so what history does is they romanticize a genocidal maniac. Buffalo Bill is revered. I think he had a traveling show where he did tricks for people and stuff. People went to see him
Oh my
and gave him money.
gosh, that is awful.
He's a genocidal maniac. See how history gets twisted around and people become sensational historical figures for the sake of creating fairy tales? Buffalo Bill was a genocidal maniac. This government paid people to go out there and kill those bison so that they could starve the Native Americans onto reservations. See there? See why I asked you, what are the rules? Right? So you see that. One of the questions I asked, let me look at my list here. Okay, good, John. Okay, is it okay for false history to be taught in schools? So Buffalo Bill and how about the Lone Ranger? You know that story, right? The Lone Ranger was a black man.
Shut up.
Google it.
What? No. I'm going to do it right now.
Marshall Bass. Bass Reeves was his name. Google Bass Reeves.
While the Lone Ranger character, as portrayed in popular media, is a white man, there's a strong historical connection to a black man named Bass Reeves. Right. Many historians and fans believe that Reeves, a former slave who became a highly successful U.S. deputy marshal, inspired the fictional. Just stop. Let's just turn it off. Let's just leave. Just because I got to cuss right now.
Okay, so that's one of my questions, right? Is it okay to teach false history to children?
It's not okay. No.
See, because the answer is straightforward, right? But based on what we see happening, something else is going on. So I don't understand their rules for doing this.
You do understand the reason why they have the rules. You know the reason that the rules are there the way they are.
Don't make me the issue here. I'm asking for the rules. I want other people to tell me the rules because I see something going on and it's not congruent. So if it's not congruent, I'm not understanding the rules. So tell me what the rules are. Is it okay to teach children false history? Run tell that. Run tell that. That's what old pastor used to say. Yes, Lord.
Amen from the back row.
What?
Wow. Not the Lone Ranger.
High hole silver.
Away. So was there a real Tonto?
There was a couple of Tontos. Yes. Bass Reeves was adept at speaking with Native Americans.
Of course.
He also, though, was a genocidal maniac. He engaged in all kind of shenanigans as well. I'm just saying. Yeah.
It's all so complicated.
Okay, so there's two questions on the table now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's a terrorist or savage? And is it okay to teach false history? Let's just go with those today.
Those, because we have 8 more, right?
We got a bunch of them. Yeah. There'll be more, too.
Yeah. I think 2's good.
Okay. 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is Robert Orr. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
The Law Office of Darnell Lyles is ready to help you. Whether it's personal injury, criminal, DUI, and OWI, nursing home, product liability, it doesn't matter. Call 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. That's right. When you're driving and get into a wreck.
You better call Darnell.
Had a few drinks too many? A cop hits you with a DUI or OWI?
Think you better call Darnell.
Arrested and facing criminal charges, misdemeanor or felony?
I think you better call Darnell.
Purchase a product that causes you or a loved one harm?
I think you better call Darnell.
When your loved one is neglected and abused in a nursing home?
I think you better call Darnell.
That's right, you better is free. Yes, free. So call right now. 219-939-9LAW. That's 219-939-9529. Attorney Darnell Lau. Darnell Lau.
Calling all valued members of the American Veterinary Medical Association, or AVMA. Your future retirement goals can be achieved. Introducing the AVMA Retirement Plan, tailored to meet the distinct needs of veterinarians with streamlined administration and reduced burdens. Vets enjoy unrivaled benefits that include service provider oversight, knowledgeable expert investment guidance, and delegated fiduciary services. Veterinarians who use this plan can say goodbye to annual retirement plan audits and annual retirement plan tax reporting. Veterinarians, you can enjoy retirement your way with customizable plans to suit your practice's unique structure. From eligibility to vesting schedules and more, elevate your retirement journey with AVMA's specialized plan. Learn more by sending an email to polaris@polarisadvice.com. Secure your veterinary legacy starting today. Email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Securities offered through LineStreet Financial, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Polaris Wealth Management, LLC. Polaris Wealth Management and LineStreet are not affiliated.
Do you have a pain that won't cease? A health issue that's not getting better? It may be time you visited Health on Earth Wellness Centers. With over 20 years experience, 4 Chicagoland locations, and patients that range from 2 months old to 93, Health on Earth Wellness Centers are fully prepared to meet all your chiropractic needs. We have state-of-the-art facilities in Crestwood, Tinley Park, the South Loop, in Naperville. Don't let being healthy be your last resort. Make it your first choice. Make an appointment today at healthonearth.org. That's healthonearth.org.
Baby.
That's right, baby.
And DJ Quick. You didn't think we could flip it on your ass, huh? Something for the dance floor. In a real way. It's going down like this forever. And a day. Ha. Now what you hear is not a drag, cause Mr. DJ Quick got a brand new bag. But first I got a bang bang, a boogie for the boogie to the rhythm of the ghetto streets. Check it out now. You trying to give me some 8-ball, but no way. I'd rather have a mimosa with Cristal and OJ. Yeah, just a little something bubbly and tingly to have me walking around naked. But wait a second.
The function's on around midnight. What time is it? Are you inside? Available to come and play? Give me a clue so I don't have to look for you.
773-763-9278. 773-763-9278. So, okay, we're going with two questions today, it sounds like, huh? All right, my friend. Were you in town when Doug Banks used to do a morning show?
No. On what station? No.
He was on GCI, and I think he was on BMX. BMX is not around. You didn't? Sybil Wilkes and Doug Banks? Ever did that in the morning?
I was talk radio.
In the morning too?
Yeah.
You know who Doug Banks is, though, right?
Why does the name sound familiar?
He had a nationally syndicated show. He was one of the Turntable Brothers with Tom Joyner.
Oh, okay. I know who
Yeah,
Tom
used to
is.
call him the Dan Ryan head.
Oh.
We all kind of grew up with Doug Banks down here. But he used to have a character that he would do some mornings at 8:05 in the morning.
Mm.
Y'all from Chicago, y'all know who I'm talking about. Watch to see if somebody says it in the comments. They know who I'm talking about. It's the 8:05 guy. He had a character he called the 8:05 guy. Yeah, burr. Anyway, 773-7.
Well, what about him?
You have to look him up and listen to the 8:05. It's funny as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, the 8:05 guy. Yeah, burr. 8:05 guy, burr.
That's probably before my time.
I don't know. I mean,
I've been here, what, 22?
yeah, it was before your time. Yeah. They remember Doug Banks and the 8:05 guy? They do. Yeah. Okay, so there's the question. Let me read them again. Where's my list here? Since we're skipping around, what do you have to do to be recognized as a terrorist / savage? And the definition of a terrorist is.
Oh, I gotta read it again.
Did you drop it? You still got it?
Wait a minute. A terrorist act is generally defined as the use or threat of violence against people or property intended to intimidate or coerce a government or civilian population to achieve a political, religious, or ideological goal.
Okay, long definition. I hope y'all took that in. You can look it up yourself. I'm sure it's Googleable. Googleable is a word, by the way.
Okay.
So what you watch going on now, and I know y'all are itching to talk about this bill that passed this week.
Mm.
And I say, who cares? Who cares? You knew it was coming. They wrote it down. You knew it was coming.
Well, we should care about it, but I agree that
Well, some of what I've seen, the response to it I've seen, has been a little bit hyperbolic, right? So they're characterizing it as kicking people off of their health insurance. Okay, so there's some truth to that, but there's a process that it goes through for that to happen. It's not just today you're off. It's not like that.
right. But the mere fact that it's
I get it. I mean, it doesn't make it any less terrible. The hyperbolic nature of the response, though, I think is overblown. It's a terrible thing. It's going to do harm to people, no doubt. But let's be smart about it, right? Let's make sure that we're responding in time and with the right tenor. I know that sounds like I'm supporting it or something. I'm not. It's a terrible act. But it's not just people are not just kicked off the first day. That's not how it works. So let's read into that. Let's not be upset about boogeyman. Let's be upset about what's really going to happen.
I mean, what's worse though, that it's taken away immediately or that you have to wait for it to happen? Both are bad.
Yeah, but they make it sound like it just happens. Like it just doesn't go that way. There's a whole bunch of litigation that'll happen and all kinds of things that will occur before that becomes a thing. And even after you get past the litigation, there's still a process you have to go through, like the employment mandate for people on Medicaid who are at certain ages or income levels, right? So there's a process where they have to evaluate.
I know, but I think the mere fact that it's on the table is scandalous.
Well, okay, yeah, I don't disagree with you there. But don't act like people are just kicked off. They don't just kick them off. That's not how that works, right? What I'm more concerned about is the response from the people for whom we expect to advocate against that. I saw that your boy, I call him your boy, Hakeem Jeffries.
I knew that's who you were talking about.
Mr. Professional hand fan. He did a little lengthy speech.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I say congratulations for standing on your feet.
Well, but his served a purpose so that vote could happen in the light of day instead of in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what he did so people can see it, but he wants people to see it who don't care. So, yeah. And he, as I recall, there was something in his speech where he talked about Project 2026. Did you see this?
I didn't see that part.
He uttered the phrase Project 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Which would lead you to believe there's an equal and opposite document that outlines the plans from the people for whom we expect to advocate for our permanent interests. Wouldn't you think that if he said that?
I need to know the context.
He said that. He said, we're pursuing Project 2026.
Well, see, in my mind, people call Project 2026, Project 2025, but that is really a document, as I've said before, that was in the making, 18 years ago, right? Yep. They just called it Project 2025.
They put a lot of work into it.
Planning this thing for a decade or two.
I'm glad you said that. They've been planning for several decades.
Yes.
So Project 2026, you would expect, would have an equal amount of planning.
It's not real.
Right. There is no Project 2026. The only project that they have is to win the midterms. That's their only project. That's all they're advocating for.
So that we can right the ship.
What they're saying is vote for us so that this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But people are starving to vote for something.
Okay, they can do that too. But that's
Michelle.
I
see what you're doing is the same mentality. That's why they lose.
because they're not running for something.
They're running against something.
And
That's why they lose.
I think that they may word it that way, but they're running for the policies that are in place that should stay in place.
They can't be. They can't be, because if they were running for something when they had full control, then they would have codified Roe v. Wade. They didn't do that.
Or the Women's Amendment either.
Right. They would have codified Voting Rights Act. They didn't do that because they were too afraid of what the other side would say about them.
Well, now I will tell you that I do agree with that. I do think that I think that we, in order to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I think we do move more to the right than we should. I think we do that. They don't.
Okay, you characterize it in terms of moving more to the right. And I wouldn't even characterize it that way. I would characterize it as standing for nothing, except we ain't doing that.
See, but I don't see that we're not.
That's like saying that at least my breath don't stink. That's like saying that.
But I don't see Democrats as standing for nothing, though. I don't see that.
Okay, so what do they? So the conservatives had a clearly delineated plan.
Right, to knock everything down that was built by the Democrats.
I know what it is. It's a delineated plan that they worked on for decades.
Right, after the New Deal.
So what plan does the Democrats have?
It's the plan.
To not do that.
The plan is to combat them from trying to destroy everything that's been
to not do that. To not do that.
To prevent the overthrowing of things that are working.
To stop them from doing that. The plan is to stop them from doing that.
Because they're destroying a plan that we already have.
Okay, tell me about that plan.
I'm just telling you, it's our health care. It's Social Security.
They had a chance to give health care for everybody, and they passed on that.
Yeah, but at least we now have a plan.
No, ain't no at least. Ain't no at least.
But it took 40 years to get to that point.
Don't you get to the point, though, where you wish that the people who are supposed to advocate for our permanent interests went at it in an aggressive way, like they go after their Klansman plans? Don't you wish sometimes?
I wish that they would just come in and bulldoze the crap out of everything.
Right, and they don't do that.
And they don't. It's not in our nature.
They spend more time being worried about what the other side is going to say about them.
I think
answering questions about being a socialist.
Let me tell you,
why even answer that question?
I agree with that. But I think that this time, I don't see it the same way as I did before. I see that Democrats are realizing, especially those who are in office, elected office, that they can't keep doing it the same way anymore.
Okay, if you look at what happened in New York and the way that the core Democratic Party responded to the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York,
yeah,
right? It seems like they're trying to do the same thing over and over again. It seems like that. So this is not even new, right? So you can go back to when did the Civil War in 1865?
Something like that.
So Reconstruction started in 1865 or thereabouts, and for the next 10 or 15 years, this same group that created the Project 2025 spent the entirety of that 10 or 12, 15 years, whatever it was, trying to unravel, to try to blow up Reconstruction.
Yeah.
They did that. And they succeeded because the people that we expected to advocate for our permanent interests withdrew the troops, invited those people into the government, gave a whole bunch of them pardons, trying to be friends with them.
Yeah.
So, and these same people who, for those 10, 12, or 15 years, stood against Reconstruction, they engaged in any number of violent acts, killing people, lynching people, taking elected officials. You remember, 1865, during Reconstruction, early part of Reconstruction, Black people registered to vote in mass. Black people took over entire legislatures
Mm-hmm.
in red states, where
Yes.
not red states,
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
and lost their lives
Yeah.
for winning that election.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the people who engaged, I remember one in Louisiana. I forget what part of Louisiana it happened, but there was an entire parish legislature that was Black,
Mm-hmm.
and the conservatives didn't like that.
I think I read that during our White History Month.
Thank you. So they went into the city hall, the county hall, the parish hall, whatever it was. They dragged all of them out.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And they killed them.
Yes.
The
yes.
Black elected officials, and then proceeded to go around town killing Black people.
Yep.
So as I recall, and y'all pardon me because it's been a lot of years. As I recall, only a handful of them were prosecuted, and all of them were pardoned.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Which makes it an adjunct rule question. If you kill somebody, when is it okay? Well, apparently then it's okay. When you kill an elected official, it's okay.
No, if they're Black or gay. Remember Harvey Milk? I mean,
Yeah.
You're Black and yeah.
So what you're seeing is a similar thing going on now. You had this is Barack Obama's fault, and I mean that kind of loosely. I don't mean,
You see, I'm just getting ready to jump over this stage.
I don't mean he did something. I mean it's because this country elected him twice. These people
feel like they did their job.
What these people are doing the same thing that people did when Reconstruction happened. They spent the better part of the last 15 years trying to unravel it, and they've engaged in violent acts to do so.
Yeah,
this is not new. So for anybody to say that this is different, that this is a different time, I think it's going to be different this time. What would make you believe that based on history?
I mean, it feels different to me because I feel it's not a feeling, it's an observation. I see our representatives, especially the young ones, just out here.
You mean the ones being shunned?
They're not all being shunned.
AOC's being shunned. They chased Jamal Bowman out. Keep going.
But, I mean, if she was shunned, she's still there. AOC's not going anywhere.
But they won't give her any really good positions. Like she should be a committee chair.
I don't disagree with that, but she's still.
But they won't do that.
She hasn't been. She hasn't been silenced. She's not silent.
No, none of them are silent.
Right. So
Jamal Bowman is even louder now that he's not in office.
Yeah. So that's
the problem. Was that they're not silent. That's why they don't give them. They don't put them in a position of leadership.
Right. But I don't think that. I think that they're up for the fight. I think that there's a fight that's going to happen between us.
What about that? What about this fight? Do you see that's different than anything we've seen in history?
I think that the younger voices and that that logical minds will prevail because we have to kind of get down and dirty right now. We can't.
It's always been the case. We had to get down and dirty. They had federal troops.
There was a time
reinforcing
when they worked together, and it wasn't an us against them kind of thing.
During Reconstruction, they had federal troops stationed in the South to force people to behave a certain way, to monitor elections, to make sure that they were fair, free and fair. They did all of that.
So,
and then they gave up on it.
So Eric, do you feel like there's any hope?
No, not unless you do something different. They're doing the same thing they've always done. Vote for me because they're stinky. They're doing the same thing they've always done. It's maddening to watch, and they give people hope unnecessarily. Which I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah. So should we give the floor to them?
I think we
have
should.
given them
We have
enough?
people waiting.
Yeah.
I
okay.
see you.
Yeah, they're probably mad at us now. 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
My name is Sharon Cooper, and I am the sister of Sandra Bland. I am a Chicagoland business professional working in the professional services. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Y'all tucked in? Do you own a business in Illinois? Are you aware of the new retirement plan requirement that could impact your business? Listen up, this is crucial information you don't want to miss. If you're a business with at least 5 employees and have been operating for 2 years or more, Illinois law now mandates that you provide a retirement plan. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Polaris Wealth Management can be your professional partner in navigating this new landscape. We specialize in helping businesses just like yours establish affordable retirement plans that meet your needs and keep you compliant. You may avoid penalties as high as $500 per employee by acting now. Our team of seasoned professionals will guide you through the process step by step, making it easy for you to set up a 401k, a simple IRA, or another qualified retirement plan. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com for more information or shoot us an email at polarisadvice.com. We're here to help you provide your employees with the retirement benefits they deserve while safeguarding your business from potential fines. Don't let these changes catch you off guard. Contact Polaris Wealth Management today, and let's work together to build a better retirement future for your employees and your business. Visit polarisadvice.com or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Securities offered through Lion Street Financial, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Polaris Wealth Management, LLC. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street are not affiliated.
Shades of Sisterhood, a coloring book honoring the power of Black women by Candace Robinson, is a creative and inspiring platform that celebrates the strength, resilience, and beauty of Black women. Designed as more than just a coloring book, it serves as a tribute to the diverse experiences and accomplishments of Black women throughout history and in contemporary society. Grab your copy today at Amazon.com. Shades of Sisterhood, a coloring book honoring the power of Black women by Candace Robinson.
Itsashort.com. The website is itsashort.com, spelled ITFASHORT.com. We are the best designation on the internet for award-winning short film, video, and web series. Artists are from all over the world. They are award-winning from various festivals, but you can find us at info@itsashort.com, customer care at itsashort.com, and we'll get back to you straight away.
It was Friday night in the club, we got poppin'. Five bowls outside of the joint, they ain't stopping us. Boys keep clapping, the girl just keep dancing. Everybody get around the drink. I got Patron in the cup and I'm doing the wop. Yo, my phone keeps ringing, but I'm hanging it up. Got my brand new dunks and please watch out. I best believe we gon' be throwing it up. And now, some of y'all saying the Jean, she ain't rocking this. Dropping shit, laying, she ain't taking.
Y'all ain't ready for Jean Grey, are you?
I am right now. Hey, what?
That's courtesy of my man DJ Jackie Jeff.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Jeff on with us one day too.
And you know the other one we want.
I don't know that.
You do.
I'm gonna get Jeff travels so much. I don't know. We'll get him on, but we'll get Jeff on one day.
We can do a remote.
I guess he's always overseas and stuff, man. 773-763-9278, 773-763-9279. I guess we've engaged in a bit of a little history lesson there, right?
I think so.
See, that's the thing, though. People know this history. Everybody except you. You didn't know the history. Everybody except you. I'm sorry. That's not true at all. Not everybody knows that because
I feel
that's because the fairy tale is persistent, right? Because the history is hard to reconcile when you have to say to yourself, damn, I'm the bad guy.
It's true.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
It's like the example I used a few weeks ago. Somebody smelled like boo-boo. Somebody smelled like boo-boo. Up in here. Oh, that's me. Yeah. I smell like boo-boo. Now what do? Right? Yeah. Who fought it? There's just
I hate you so
Yeah, no, right. Whatever, man. Look, so let's turn the floor over, shall we? You're the boss of this.
All right. Verlon.
Here we go.
All right. Now I'm the only person that called last week and attempted to answer. You had 5 questions, and I answered 2 of them. You told me to call in this week and give you the percentages. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I still will answer one of your 2 questions. But the percentages, okay.
You do realize
number one.
You do realize you didn't understand the question, though, right?
I will. I said I understand the 2 questions this week: the terrorist question and the other question. I'm gonna answer the terrorist question, but I want to give you the percentages of what I was talking about last week. We spend $1.3 trillion on Medicare for everybody. Okay, the percentage of that we
Medicare. You said, wait. You said Medicare or Medicaid?
I mean, I'm sorry. Medicaid. Thank you. The percentage of the Medicaid that we spend on illegal aliens is 7.69, which comes out to $100 billion a year just on Medicaid.
What percentage is that? What percentage did you say it was?
7.69. You can round it off to 7.7, but the exact is 7.69. Now,
7%. So just over 7%, almost 8% is spent on what you characterize as illegal aliens. And there's no such thing, by the way, as illegal aliens. There are people here that are undocumented. There are people here who are waiting for asylum hearings. But illegal aliens, you can't characterize that 8%. You can't characterize that whole almost 8% as what you call illegal.
The Constitution does. But this is how we get hung up on. This is how we get hung up on one thing. Now, listen. I sent you information. A Senator, Marsha Blackburn, and a Congresswoman from Michigan, and they quoted the Federal Agency of Immigration. And I want to see if you will man up and admit the Federal Agency of Immigration said 1.4 million illegal aliens, non-citizens, undocumented, whatever you want to call them, are on Medicaid. That's even worse than what I explained to you last week. They have access to it, but it's documented. You told me 2 months ago, nobody that's illegal or undocumented is on Medicaid. The Federal Agency of Immigration said 1.4 million are on Medicaid.
They got you worried about something that's not a thing, right? So people who are here the people who are here awaiting asylum hearings, they're entitled to health care. So they don't count in your numbers.
Oh my God!
They're not illegal.
They qualify in certain states like Illinois.
Okay,
they
but
do
they're not illegal.
States.
They're not illegal.
Okay. Look, I know you know African people. I know African people. Okay, I know African people that's married to black people over here, and they tell me all the time they are in fear of their life for being to be deported. Until they have that permanent residency card in their hand, they can be deported at any time. Yeah, just like that Hispanic.
The problem you got, brother, is that you're lumping in people who are entitled to that care with people who are not. Right? So you're characterizing people who are waiting for asylum and other things that are legal, that came across the border legally. Those people are entitled to health care. So you can't put them in the same boat. The people who are not here legally, across the border illegally, do not access health care. They can't.
If you have a green card, Eric, I accept that. If you are married to a United States citizen, I accept that. But the ones that just come over here and the gotaways, the 2 million gotaways, and all of these other people that has a court case, just because you like I like Earl. Earl seems to be cool. But just because you have a court case does not make you legal. You understand? You legal when you go through the process.
It does make you legal. It does make you legal.
No, it doesn't.
It does too. If you cross the border legally, if you cross the border legally, you're here legally.
If you do it legally, but just because you come over here and you say I'm running from tyranny, I need asylum. it does not make you a legal resident.
It does.
You got a
The
court
rules
case to
say
be
it
adjudicated.
does. No. The rules say it does. It does say that they're here legally. If you want to change the law, that's a different thing.
Okay. You know what? First off, because now I'm not going to get my apology. Can you man up and say you was wrong about illegals? One point. This is how Marsha Blackburn, the senators and congresswoman, this is how they phrased it, and the federal agency of immigration phrased it.
You picked the two dumbest white women on earth.
Okay.
To reference.
What about the agency? What about the federal agency of immigration? They label it as illegals on Medicaid.
Let me tell you how you're being hoodwinked here. That you're allowing them to lump in people who are here legally with people who are here illegally. You have to segment the legal people out. The number gets much smaller then. They have you believing that anybody that ain't from here who's here is here illegally. That's what they have you believing.
Well, all of them are getting health care, Eric. I explained it to you last week. They are. You can go. You can get. They have. I'm not saying they all are on Medicaid, but they get access to health care when they go to the hospital. I explained it last week.
Listen, man. There's a such thing as the Hippocratic Oath. If a person who is ill walks into the emergency room okay, great. So a person walks into the emergency room with a knife stuck in their head, right? You take care of them. You don't check their documented status.
Well, here's the thing: if they shot or stabbed,
are they getting neonatal care?
That's different.
Okay, but still, that's who they got you believing is accessing healthcare illegally. These people are hiding.
You're picking the worst case scenario. Shot or stabbed. I'm talking about somebody that goes in and they might be suffering from some other type of illness. They gonna get checked out. You're not just going to go straight into the emergency room if you got the flu.
Oftentimes they do. People who are here legally do that. People who are here that are citizens access the emergency room with the flu.
I know that. But let me tell you, this is what the bill and this is what Republicans are trying to do. It ain't just illegals. It's able-bodied people. It's illegals. They trying to cut the cost, man. So Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security will be here for future generations. They found almost $200 billion of fraud and fraud, waste, and abuse.
They did not. That was debunked.
It is.
It's not been debunked. It was debunked. Your boy Elon Musk admitted to it. Your boy Elon Musk admitted it was not there.
No, he ain't. That's why he's so mad. That's why he's gonna start a third party to go against the Republicans because he's upset.
Consuming information. You've been misled.
No, all right, brother, but I'm trying to tell you, man.
You're lumping everybody in as illegal, and they're not all illegal. So you got to reduce your number.
Well, we got to reduce the number when it comes to Medicaid. We can't afford it. There's $34 trillion in debt. Medicaid is $33 trillion in debt. You got to start cutting. That's why they're cutting public aid, which is the housing and the EBT, and they're cutting the Medicaid. You got it. You find $100 billion here, $100 billion there. It adds up to trillions.
Yeah,
you got to cut.
So the fraud rate for Medicaid is less than 5%. So take 5% of that number gave me. Take 5% of that number you gave me for Medicaid. That's the waste, fraud, and abuse.
This year we spent 1.3. Just this year, 1.3 trillion. In 2023,
waste, fraud, and abuse is less than 5% of that.
Well, we can add to that by getting able-bodied people back to work and getting the non-citizens off the rolls.
Okay.
That's how we can shore up the program and save trillions.
What are you going to do when a non-citizen gets sick and walks into a hospital? What are you going to do?
If a non-citizen gets sick and walks into a hospital,
what are you going to do?
Hey, you got to refuse them. I'm sorry.
So that makes you evil. That makes you evil.
No, that doesn't. No, that doesn't.
That means that's the system. Evil. It makes you evil, and it's hard for you to reconcile that you're evil. That you would turn somebody away.
I understand that you all want Medicaid for all and single payer, but that's not the system that we have in this country.
Don't change the subject now. Let's go back to you being evil. You've decided that someone who's sick should not be entitled to care. right? That's what you
You
decide.
are trying to guilt trip. You want to guilt trip people. That's
I
what
don't-
y'all
I
do
don't-
every
I
week.
don't-
You want
I
to
don't
guilt
think-
trip people.
I don't think that evil people get guilty. So I'm not worried about you feeling a guilt trip. I'm saying that people need to understand that you're evil. That
Last
want
week you
people who are
said
sick
Jeff
to be turned
Bezos
away.
is basically evil for spending all that type of money, and rich people they shouldn't be that rich. You try to guilt trip them into spending money into what you want them to spend
I
money
said-
on. That's
like
not the
I
way
said,
this
you
country is set up.
Like I said, you didn't understand the question. So in addition to you being evil, you don't understand English.
I'll show you.
Where are you
how
from?
I'm not
Are you
evil.
here
'Cause
legally?
I promise you. No, I promise you that I'll answer one of your questions. What is
You
terrorism?
didn't though. You didn't though.
I'm about to right now. Terrorism
Give it to
is when the Israeli settlers are burning out Palestinians from their homes. That's terrorism. I gave you a whole example. That's terrorism. Okay?
Thanks
So
for that.
I'm a man of my word.
You
All
win.
right.
You win. Congratulations.
All right.
Man, have a great Sunday, man.
Take it.
Yeah, see how-
You
see
too,
how-
brother.
See how we get dumber?
Bye, Verlon.
We just get dumber. We all get dumber listening.
Something
sometimes.
happens.
It's just, it's,
You did good though.
I don't know about doing good.
You handle it. See,
Let me see if I can
silent.
get you.
Hey.
Get out of here, man. What's this, man? Yeah. The number 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is Kamal Murray. Check us out at www.excesstennis.org. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Polaris is introducing a way for you to get empowering financial advice, save, and plan. If you are like a lot of people, you'd like to work with a financial planner, but don't know if you earn or have enough to invest. Save and Plan will allow us to work with nearly anyone from young professionals to retirees looking to travel the world. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up, Polaris gives you a customized financial plan, a real person to speak with, and information to help you make good financial decisions. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com. Call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone. Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
This is Miss Lady B, La Boricua. Now it's time for the Family Meeting News.
Welcome back. This is Michelle Peltier, and here's more of what we are following on the Family Meeting. Striking city workers waved signs at traffic near Philadelphia City Hall and formed picket lines outside libraries, city offices, and other workplaces as nearly 10,000 blue-collar workers walked off the job on Tuesday. Seeking better pay and benefits, District Council 33 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees announced the strike on its Facebook page early Tuesday. Mayor Parker said the city would suspend residential trash collection, close some city pools, and shorten recreation center hours, but vowed to keep the city running. Police and firefighters are not on strike, but the DC 33 membership includes 911 dispatchers, trash collectors, water department workers, and many others. District Council 33 is the largest of four major unions representing city workers. Yeah. You see, LL Cool J was not going to cross the picket line. Very proud of him. As Black-owned financial institutions have begun to crop up around the country over the years, the Western United States has continued to be left bone dry. That is, until Redemption Bank launched. With Bernice King, the youngest child of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as the Vice President of Corporate Strategy and roughly $65 million in assets, Redemption Bank just became the first Black-led investment group-owned bank in the Western United States. Led by former White House policy advisor and Small Business Administration Regional Administrator Ashley Bell, Redemption Bank intends to focus mainly on commercial lending and establishing a dedicated small business loan team. Bell told the Associated Press that the company is gearing up to release a fully digital platform by the end of this summer to better service small businesses around the country. What say you, Mr. Grant? Do you think it's a good idea? Yeah. There's somebody in the chat room who's also having the same problem. Yes. Please visit our webpage, tfmradioshow.com. You can subscribe and follow us on Fanbase, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Spoutable, Blue Sky, and Twitter. Also subscribe and follow our YouTube channel to view us live and receive reminders when we are on the air. And before we break, one more reminder about the 4th annual Golf Scramble. Friday, August 1st, Spring Valley Country Club in Salem, Wisconsin. You can go to our website for more details, but we are still looking for some sponsors, and we have a couple of teams that we can still fill, so we can get a couple more foursomes. That would be great. You can register or give us a sponsorship for a hole by going to our website, or you can go to the Ivy Grant Memorial Foundation website as well. Okay? We'll be right back.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Hey, Family Meeting cousins. As you know, we've created a Patreon Family Meeting subscription and membership page to include you great listeners in our effort and give you a chance to very economically promote your business, organization, or local event. You can contribute as little as $5 per month to get your message out and support the Family Meeting as a viable voice. We know you appreciate our permanent interest dialogue, get up and dance playlist, and our great guests who stop by. So become a cousin and go to our website, tfmradioshow.com, and click the link.
Peace. Prince Paul's the name. I'm here to break down the definition of buddy. Buddy doesn't mean girl, or sex for that matter. Buddy simply means body. Bodies of all kinds. So on that note, we begin with our video.
What? Hello, it's the soul, trooping in with the jungle patrol, and this one's about the KOs. Better not out there who I call my buddy. Hold up, now just wait. We're gonna talk about buddy on this plate, but before we let the herd out the gate, make sure all the levels are straight out. The jungle, the brothers, daylight though.
What you know about them native tongues, man? You get out like that, man?
I love that. Did you play that at the reunion?
No, I didn't get around to that. It's like them folks got tired early, man. I was 4 or 5 songs in, and they was like, "Her." Yeah. 773-763-9278 is the number. We're a little bit off track now, aren't we?
Just a tad.
Let me make sure that I'm clear on what the glass discussion, so that everybody has their data right? Mm-hmm. And I don't have the data in front of me. I've seen it before, so I have a knowledge of it. Mm-hmm. I don't memorize it. That 1 point whatever trillion dollar number he gave us, probably right. 1 point something trillion dollars spent on Medicaid. Mm-hmm. He said that just less than 8% went to what he characterized as illegal. What they're doing, what the conservatives are doing, is they're characterizing anybody who wasn't born here as illegal.
Yeah.
Not true.
Yeah.
They're not illegal. They're waiting asylum. They're various stages of immigration. We have an immigration system. So if you're in the immigration system, if you're in the process of immigrating here, you're not here illegally.
Right.
So you got to take those people out of that 8% number.
Equation. Yeah.
So it's less than that. Then you got the Hippocratic Oath you got to contend with. You can't just show up at a hospital and turn somebody away. Otherwise, you're evil. You're just evil.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And to have a dear brother side with people who would otherwise wish him hanging from a tree is confounding. But we've always had them among us.
Yeah.
Always had them among us. Massa, good Massa.
I think that's the sad part, though, right?
Sad now. I mean,
I think it's sad because, listen, in addition to his opposition, there's no original thought. He's reading talking points verbatim. Verbatim.
He's indoctrinated. But let me tell you really quickly. And Tommy loves this story, by the way. I told this story at both of my. So I have two dear friends, Dan and Will. And because I couldn't decide who would be the best man in my wedding, they were both my best men.
Oh, that's
And
so sweet.
For each of their weddings, same thing.
Oh.
We each had two best men.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I was always charged in those cases of telling giving the speech, best man speech, and I always told the story of the wildebeests on the African plain. And the wildebeest, we know, travel in herds, right? And the wildebeest are smart enough so that the strong, capable, the wildebeest with a future, they travel in the middle of the herd,
Mm-hmm.
because with the wildebeest travel lions.
Mm.
And so,
Oh.
so the strong wildebeest push the stupid and the weak to the edge of the herd so that the lions can get them.
Yes.
And it's for people like that, we push them to the edge of the herd. Let them have it.
That's kind of mean too. Why can't we all just
I mean,
figure it out
but
so
we-
nobody gets eaten?
But we protect ourselves. So what ends up happening is people like him end up becoming
Eaten.
a protection barrier for us.
Yeah.
We don't get eaten because they're busy eating his ass.
Yes. And he's not understanding why. That's the
Let them have him.
Yeah.
Keep him.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, some people you just can't save.
Well, but keep in mind the wildebeest on the edge of the herd don't know.
Well, they don't think that they're. Yeah.
They just think they're closer to master.
So they see the lion as the master.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Lions, big, strong lions. Are you kidding? I can get down like that, man. Yeah. Okay. So just on you, Michelle.
Marty from Chicago.
Marty.
Hi, Marty.
Hey guys, happy Sunday.
Likewise.
Thanks for taking my call. Gosh, so much to talk about. But yeah, I wanted to comment on the earlier discussion about Democrats and their messaging. Because, I mean, I think Kamala Harris had some really, really profound and very, solutions. She wanted to give new entrepreneurs $50,000 to start businesses. That would have jump-started the economy. We need more small businesses like we had, before the corporate takeover, and now, Main Street is Wall Street, and there's no more mom and pop shops anymore. But I mean, that's what we need, and new housing and all of those other initiatives her messaging could not have been any clearer. I mean, it's certainly what I voted for. And I think that the No Kings protests that have broken out, it's not because we're all just unilaterally opposed to Donald Trump. We're opposed to this whole administration and all of these policies that are being put forward. And I mean, I was really impressed with the small little No Kings protests, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger and spreading wider and wider. So I think the message is getting out there, maybe not on traditional news formats, certainly not for anybody that watches Fox News, like probably the last caller, but
what comes from that,
for everybody.
You have these No Kings protests. Okay, fantastic. I support that. But what comes from that, though?
Well, I mean, the policy changes that happened in the 60s wouldn't have happened unless there was the mass protests that you see. I mean, at some point in time, it's going to be so clear that it's not going to be avoidable anymore. I mean, a lot of people can still hang their heads in the sand, and pretend, like we're not paying attention. But I mean, I think that because information has so much more space available now, that people can see through a lot of the tactics that this administration is trying to do. Donald Trump is a habitual liar. Everything he says is a lie. So anybody that believes him, there's clearly 100 gazillion other media sources out there where you can get information. Midas Touch does a really good job. WCPT is just amazing, and I listen every day. But to that last caller's point, just not to change the topic, but who doesn't care if you're a citizen or non-citizen or whether you have documentations? Meningitis, tuberculosis, COVID-19. It benefits all of us when we all take care of each other. It's like if I went to another country, like if you go to another country and you get hit by a car, you expect to be able to go to the hospital. You don't expect to have them, well, I don't know, you're just visiting here for a week, so and I don't know if that entitles you to health care right now. If it's an emergency, you take care of it. We should all be out for saving each other's lives regardless, because it benefits all of us if we're all healthy and free from diseases that a simple vaccine would prevent. Collectively, it makes us all unhealthy, because you could have one sick guy on a plane and then pass that virus around to every single person on that plane, So if we're in closed spaces, whether you have papers or not, we should all assume that everybody has reasonable access to health care. It just needs to be a priority. And if every other industrialized nation,
to allow people to suffer in that instance is just evil.
It is.
If you're in Italy, you get hit by a car and it's like, well, you're not a citizen, so good luck to you. That's just evil.
Yeah.
And the same thing here, right? Because I know if he was injured visiting somebody in Canada, and Canada said, nah, good luck to you, partner, then he'd be mad about that. But he wants to do that to people here. It doesn't even make any sense.
It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Right. That's why we let people like that come on here, so you can hear that nonsense. You can just hear that. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Marty.
Sure. Have a great afternoon. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too. Bye-bye. He's listening now, grinding his teeth. Because he's getting his dumbass drag.
I think he must hang up the phone, though. Not the phone. Turn off the radio. I would. I wouldn't listen to you anymore.
Better than that. Who's next, Michelle?
Maurice from Bolingbrook.
Maurice from Bolingbrook. What's up, man?
Hi, Maurice.
Hey, how we doing, family? The Democratic Party tries to help everyone. It's just that our government, what the Republican has done, has given themselves extra seats in the Senate. If we don't have a filibuster-proof margin in the Senate, we don't get nothing done. So Barack's first term, he was able to get the Affordable Care Act done. And I wish Kamala Harris could have prosecuted the case when they said, what could you have done differently? She should have read off all the stuff that they done and how it benefited people in red states. The problem we have is the Democratic Party only gets 43 to 39% of the white vote. That's the problem we have. If all of us don't come out to vote, that's the only way we overcome that big percentage difference, unless every other ethnic group come out and vote in high numbers for the Democratic Party. And every time they get us distracted by saying, they separate us. What they did with the 3 strikes you're out bill, the Bill Clinton passed to get people off Hillary. The stuff they tried to do with I wish all these people would come back and remember their main goal is to get rid of Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. The white people continually forget that that's what they come in. They come in to hurt them. But in their mind, they're not going to touch me. But they are. They pick in your pockets, and you too stupid to realize it. Reagan cut taxes for the rich. Bush cut taxes for the rich. Trump cut tax for the rich. And now they get another tax cut. So we say we can't feed children in school, which we can. It's a small percentage of our national budget. It's pennies to us. But they rather take us, this country, in debt, deeper in debt, to give rich people money they don't need. I don't understand it. And while they're doing that, they study increasing everything on us, taking more money out our pockets, because the money has to come from somewhere. So we get these unexpected taxes in our cable bill, in our light bill, in our, everything that we have to consume, need to survive. There's an extra penalty attached to it, what we have to pay. And then people get mad that we're paying too much. But they don't blame the right people. But why? It's that way.
Yeah. You're right, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for participating today. Have a great Sunday.
And Berlin, in 2023, Medicaid only paid $900 billion. The federal toward Medicaid in 2023. I couldn't see any figures for 24 and 25, but in 23 it was $900 billion for Medicaid.
When was the Affordable Care Act? 2017? 2014?
I don't know.
Anyway, Medicaid grew then because it expanded. Medicaid and Medicare expanded when the Affordable Care Act came out. But you may be right. But my point to the alarm was not necessarily how much they're spending. My point was what percentage of it was going to people who are here, who are legitimately here illegally. And he's characterizing everybody. He's using the white people definition of illegal, anybody that ain't from here.
Eric, them kicking these people, they got green cards, that's working, that's able to work in America. They paying in the Social Security, they paying in the Medicare. They paying into all this, and they can't collect it. So that's helping us out. So where's this deficit going to come by all these people being kicked out the country? That's going to make these programs run a deficit.
Yeah, that's not really the point, though. That's an academic argument, and I hear you. But their point is that I don't like those other people, and they just want to put on other people. That's the point. So they don't care. They don't care about the fiscal liability. If they did, they wouldn't run up deficits like they do.
Yeah, it's like burning, throwing gasoline on the burning house, and you trying to put the fire out. I don't understand why they don't get it.
Yeah, me either. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, okay?
All right. You too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Have a good day.
That's
you too.
It's maddening. But you got to give it to them, though. They've done an effective job of convincing people of something that ain't true.
That's something that they're very good at.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you think about all the time that they spend being angry or mad at people or afraid. They're always afraid of somebody. They're all coming to get you. They're going to kill us all. They're always so afraid of everybody.
And they're the murderers.
Yeah. Everything in history says that you guys are the killers. It's crazy, man. All right. We got more people, Hope?
Yeah.
Okay. 773-763-9278. Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
And he fills it only halfway. And before I even argue, he is looking out the window at
This is Jason Dorsey, Eric's nephew. I am on Instagram as Jason Dorsey. My music is on Apple Music as Hoodie Jace. You can follow me on Twitter at Jason Dorsey 00 and keep listening to the Family Meeting.
Says the man behind the counter to the woman who has come in.
Do you own a business in Illinois? Are you aware of the new retirement plan requirement that could impact your business? Listen up, this is crucial information you don't want to miss. If you're a business with at least 5 employees and have been operating for 2 years or more, Illinois law now mandates that you provide a retirement plan. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Polaris Wealth Management can be your professional partner in navigating this new landscape. We specialize in helping businesses just like yours establish affordable retirement plans that meet your needs and keep you compliant. You may avoid penalties as high as $500 per employee by acting now. Our team of seasoned professionals will guide you through the process step by step, making it easy for you to set up a 401k, a simple IRA, or another qualified retirement plan. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com for more information or shoot us an email at polarisadvice.com. We're here to help you provide your employees with the retirement benefits they deserve while safeguarding your business from potential fines. Don't let these changes catch you off guard. Contact Polaris Wealth Management today, and let's work together to build a better retirement future for your employees and your business. Visit polarisadvice.com or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Polaris Wealth Management LLC. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street are not affiliated.
Hi, this is Michelle from the Family Meeting. And let me tell you about the Villager Gift Boutique located at 2007 Ridge Road in downtown Homewood, Illinois. The Villager is your gift shop for unique, hand-selected, high-quality gifts. The Villager's owner, Valerie, travels internationally to trade shows and fine art festivals to bring a variety of unique, high-quality items, including fine gifts, bath and body products, candles, jewelry, clothing, home accents, leather goods, stationery, gourmet goodies, and so much more. The customer experience is very inviting and ideal for helping you find the perfect gift, especially for those shoppers who are looking for that unique gift for those who are hard to shop for. Oh, and the gift wrapping is complimentary. Shop in person in Homewood, Illinois, or online at thevillagergiftshop.com. That's thevillagergiftshop.com.
At Saga Martial Arts, we're dedicated to preserving the traditions of Shorin Karate. Our dojo is more than a place to learn martial arts. It's a place to build respect, self-discipline, and confidence. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced martial artist, young or old, we offer a supportive environment for you to grow. Join our community. Embrace the rich history of karate and discover your strength both inside and out. Saga Martial Arts, where tradition meets excellence. To book a lesson, give us a call at 312-927-0184 or send us an email at karateinvillapark@gmail.com.
Yo, man. Yo, open up, man. What do you want, man? My girl just caught me. You made her catch you. I don't know how I let this happen. The girl next door, you know? I don't know what to do.
It wasn't you.
Alright. Honey came in and she got me red-handed, creepy with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom door. How could I forget that I had given her an extra fee? All this time she was standing there, she never took her eyes off me.
Oh, you bring your woman access to your villa. Let us on a witness all the clean on your pillar. You better watch your back before she turn into a killer. Just review the situation that you call the winner. To be a true player, you have to know how to play. If you say a night, come to say a day.
Yeah, 773-763-927. How many we got left?
Two
left? Okay. Yeah, we can maybe take a few more than that. 773-763-9278. So, you know what happens is that when we have discussions like this and certain people weigh in, why you let them talk? Why you let them on? So you can see. I think so also you can see how to deal with them.
Oh, I don't know about that. Let
me change the word. I don't mean like interact with them.
Okay.
I mean like if you find yourself in a situation where they're saying something stupid, how you can react. That we don't necessarily buy into decorum here.
I know. But let me say something to you though. So I was an avid listener, devoted for, the whole time you've been on the air.
Okay.
And I was one of those people that would say, Eric, hang up the phone. Stop talking to him. I know I'm not the only one. Woo, child.
Everybody's welcome here.
And God bless you for that.
But what you'll notice, and I've said it before, is they don't come around very often.
No.
They mess around with the other shows on this station, but they don't come around here no more because they get smoked. So I give Verlon credit for coming around.
Sure.
That kind of credit for coming around.
Sure.
All right, who's next?
Fred.
Fred.
Hey guys, I'm one of the wildebeest from the middle of the herd, and I gotta appreciate your facts and the dialogue. My God, you guys are fantastic.
Too much credit.
I was going to talk about the 24 election, but man, you had some really good conversations. I mean, about the illegals. You're absolutely right. They're not illegals. They're undocumented. In fact, to come in the country, it's a misdemeanor. It's not a felony, and Trump's actually trying to make it a felony now. But they get adjudicated in, temporary status, et cetera, et cetera. You spelled it all out. You're absolutely dead on correct. But taking a step back, I think the problem is the narrative and the lack of a megaphone that the Democrats have right now. I mean, we have Trump, who, the Washington Post did a wonderful tracking of his lies. It basically adds up to about just more than 20 lies a day, every day for 4 years. That was his first term. Plus Fox News, which you know what they do. We just don't have anything. And it's impossible for us to push back. So they get their message out, which we already know about, and it's difficult. And to give you an idea, as you know about tariffs. Now, in the past, we would tariff one country or two selectively, strategically, right? 1%, 2% to make a change. Well, Trump comes out and tariffs 162, 165, whatever countries, and it's like, what? And the bottom line is what he's actually getting. It's actually very smart and very awful. When tariff some country 10% or 30% or whatever, so our importers have to pay the U.S. government that percentage, that money, as you know, and then that money is then added on, tacked on to the product, and then maybe with a profit margin that's sold to the American public, and so we have to pay more at the department store or wherever. Trump doesn't care. Trump actually doesn't care, and he just wants to get this cash, which is smart if you're evil like Trump is. And then he convinces everybody through Fox News and all the media, no, China is paying for it or whatever. We just don't have any way to push back. And I'm interested in your guys, is there any way we can get a couple of our billionaires together and create a, not Fox News version, but a truth, our own network, like an Air America, but our own Fox News, all Democrat, answering, back to the BS that's coming from the right. Is there any way?
Yeah. So I'll tell you a little short story here, man. So we get inquiries here about syndicating our broadcast. Michelle pushed me into one recently.
I did not. I was just curious.
So listen, when I was talking to the person who's supposed to be helping us out, he sent me a list of stations that were possible, right? And the first list he sent me was 7 pages long. And on that list, they had radio stations that were interested, could possibly be interested in syndicating us. 7 pages long.
Yeah.
2 of the stations were what we would characterize as progressive. 2 of them on 7 pages. So I told him, listen, they don't want me there. Why don't we try somebody else? So he sent me a new list with progressive stations. 1 page. 1 page. And it's only 2/3 of the page.
Wow.
So you're exactly right. They have a megaphone to push out propaganda and have people believing that everybody who's not from here, who's here, is illegal, so that they're angry about something or afraid about something, and they have these cockamamie ideas, and they end up harming people, or they're evil towards people, and it's a shame.
And the problem is that then they steer the narrative, and they literally coax Democrats to agreeing with them. For instance, my original calling was going to be about the 24 election. Harris lost by 1.4%. Now, she only had, just over 100 days to campaign. and she had excellent policies. And Trump basically has been running as, a shadow president since he left in disgrace in 2021. He's sort of like that shadow prime minister they have in the UK. They have the prime minister in the shadow UK. If you watch the
I love
prime
that.
minister's questions, but we had, it's a fantastic show. But anyway, we had our first shadow president. Every single day, whatever Biden did, Trump would downgrade the America, downgrade. That was awful. So he basically was running for 3.5 years. Harris running for 100 days. Of course, he's going to squeak by and win. But then, what does Republicans say?
Don't you think that the Progressive Party should do the same thing? Don't you think that Kamala should be a shadow president right now, and we should hear from her?
Yeah, but see, we have decorum and we have honor. we can elect somebody to do that, and I agree. We should have somebody like whoever it is, a mouthpiece that's out there. Now, we have some real loud folks. You're right. Every single day. I mean, every single day, because again, if Trump lies every single day, and let me give you a quick aside, real fast, if I can get this real quick. So Trump was lying so much in the 2016 election that the Washington Post decided, gee, he's lying a lot. Let's track his lies for the first 100 days. And they found out that he had lied 492 lies in 100 days. It comes to 4.9 lies a day. So what do? They decide to keep going. And that's how they got to the 30,000 something, which is over 20 lies a day. Who lies that much? But if these lies are out there, they're convincing people of these lies. We have to push back. We've got to find a way to push back.
Yeah, we can't rely on the Democrats. They're just too high back to do that. Hey, man, we appreciate it.
You need to get out there and you need to get out there and start screaming louder. But thanks so much, you guys.
You do. You need to get out there when you're running for office, man.
No, I'm too old. But anyway, you guys are doing a great job. I love your program. You take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Care,
you
man.
too. Have a good week.
I'm trying to get you to do something. Why don't you do something? Like I need another job.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
You ready? Yes, you do.
Huh?
You do. You need another job. You have lots of people to take care of.
Tell you what, though, I'm going to invent some medicine.
Yeah.
For kidney bone-itis. I'm going to get rich off of that. Who's next?
Roosevelt.
My man Roosevelt. What's up, man?
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey. How you doing, Michelle? Mr. E.
What up? What up?
There's a Mr. T, but now you're Mr. E. All right, so you said he's evil. Wasn't that the segue for Earth, Wind, and Fire?
I knew he's going to have some funk. I knew you were going to have some funk, man. I knew that.
Yep. So not only is he evil, he's cruel. Now, the word illegal. Now, let's examine that. How did Melania get here? Who brought her over here? Okay, Paolo Zamboli, an Italian-born gentleman. And I use that word loosely, gentleman. They used to bring little girls from Eastern Europe. Listen to all the names of the girls that came over with that Jeffrey Epstein. Do you think that Melania was the only one that was brought over here on an Einstein visa? Okay, so how did these girls get here? I mean, weren't they at parties with Trump? That's how Trump and Melania met. She's practically out of her teens. So when you talk about Verlon illegal, didn't she get at the head of the line? Like some of your conservatives always mention getting back of the line or get in line or something to that effect. So is she an Einstein? How does anybody how does a model get an Einstein visa? Okay, now
she's the first instance I've ever heard of anybody getting such a visa. I've never heard it before.
Bingo, my man. Now, here's my question to you. Shouldn't she be deported? Isn't she getting free everything?
Okay, well, hold on a second now. The bigger question is, what are the rules? What are the rules under which we deport people?
Yeah, or is it just because of the color of the skin?
Yeah.
You know, you get ahead of the line, or you have good connections with, let's just say, elderly gentlemen. Let's look at the difference in age between Trump and Melania, and what kind of model was she? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, clearly a nude model.
So, and then here's another one to the same subject. Well, how come he doesn't release those Jeffrey Epstein tapes? And who really killed this guy? I mean, I'm not saying, isn't it a coincidence that he killed himself? How convenient for Trump. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't care who's in those tapes, the Democrat, Republican. So when you talk about Vermont illegals, examine your party that you stand.
I think only that white woman that he was hanging out with, she went to jail, right?
Yeah, she's from, I believe she's from England, Great Britain. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one to go to jail. All them old dirty ass white men, none of them went to jail. Just this one white woman.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Now you talk about P. Diddy and all that, but you know, look at these guys. And let's, you know, I'm glad you opened that up, E. All these white guys from those days, from those olden days, from my early teens that didn't go to Vietnam, Cheney, Trump, what's the other guy's name? Bush Jr. Who's the other guy? And look what they did with Muhammad Ali. They made him an example. They showed him in front of everybody that he was he didn't conform to U.S. laws of draft.
It leaves you wondering what the rules are again. What are the rules?
Yeah, exactly. That's precisely. Well, you kept on mentioning that, and you hit it right on the dot. Meaning the rules, and then let's say the rules for who? Who are these rules for? And when do you apply these rules? And by the way, he mentioned the fact that all these people, all these illegals, but without these so-called illegals, this country would not survive. The economy would go down the drain. Down the drain. And let me tell you, I grew up with my grandfather in Mexico. Only 6 years I spent in Mexico. But I gathered enough information to know that back then he used to tell me stories. Because there's no such thing as borders when we were, close to the border. You just go in and out and in and out, and that's how it was. There was an understanding. And that's way in the 1800s. Now, if that happened between Mexico and the United States, can you imagine those people that came from Europe? Do you believe that everybody came through Ellis Island? Give me a break. Give me a break.
I know.
You know,
Roosevelt,
we
appreciate you, man. We got to get to a commercial.
Man. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Roosevelt was on a roll there, man.
Yes.
He's a little bit of whataboutism there, but it's okay. It's all what about. Y'all got a real problem in y'all country, man.
Y'all,
man.
like you're not part of it.
I've never been a part of it. Never.
You're in it. You're part of it.
I reside here. That's about it. This ain't my house. I was kidnapped and brought to this house. Good luck to y'all. Unfortunately, y'all taught me how to survive, so I'm not that fragile. You aren't either, although you act like it sometimes. You can handle it. Can't you?
No.
Okay.
I'm out here all alone.
Somebody come give Michelle a hug, will you? Stay tuned for more of the Family Meeting.
This is attorney Gina Smith of Jami Law, JAMII Law.com. Keep listening to the Family Meeting.
A 2016 study estimated that 13.1 million Americans were victims of identity theft last year. Fight back against your identity being stolen by signing up for Identity Guard. Identity Guard monitors your credit and identity information with alerts that can help you respond quickly if certain changes indicating fraudulent activity are detected, as well as help protect your computer from viruses, keylogging, and other serious threats. Plus, with Identity Guard's dynamic credit management management resources and tools, you will have helpful information as you make better financial and credit decisions. Identity Guard includes $1 million identity theft insurance and lost wallet protection, and more if you ever do become a victim. Protect your ID for as little as $6 per month. Yes, that's only $6 per month by visiting lookaftermyid.com. That's lookaftermyid.com to securely sign up for Identity Guard today.
Polaris is introducing a way for you to get empowering financial advice. Save and plan. If you are like a lot of people, you'd like to work with a financial planner, but don't know if you earn or have enough to invest. Save and Plan will allow us to work with nearly anyone from young professionals to retirees looking to travel the world. Save and Plan is simple. Just sign up to save on a systematic monthly basis directly from your account and gain access to a planner and our planning services. Once you sign up, Polaris gives you a customized financial plan, a real person to speak with, and information to help you make good financial decisions. Your dedicated planner is just an email or phone call away. Save and Plan offers empowering advice for everyone. Visit us at polarisadvice.com. Call us today at 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polarisadvice.com. Save and Plan, empowering advice for everyone. Securities, insurance, and advisory services offered through FSC Securities Corporation. Member FINRA. SIPC. Insurance services offered through Polaris Insurance Agency, Inc., which is not affiliated with FSC Securities Corporation.
A Single K plan is a 401k plan designed especially for business owners and immediate family, regardless if they are incorporated or not. Single Ks offer both employer and employee contributions and, in many cases, have no setup fee or annual plan administrative charges. Single Ks are simple to administer with no government reporting required. Most importantly, this plan allows employees to access their savings via hardship withdrawals or loans. Visit our website at polarisadvice.com or call us about your business or organization's retirement plan at 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. That's 312-951-2606 or email us at polaris@polarisadvice.com. Polaris provides empowering advice for everyone.
Securities offered through Lion Street Financial LLC, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advisor services offered through Lion Street Advisors LLC, registered investment advisors. Polaris Wealth Management and Lion Street Financial are not affiliated.
Sexual conversation to get you in the mood. Oh, mental stimulation to make your body move, yeah, yeah. I'm on my way now, yeah. Hurry up, get ready, don't keep me waiting. I'll hit you up when I get outside.
See, the very nature of our broadcast is not conducive to order.
Well, obviously.
I mean, it ain't chaos, but it ain't order. So any attempt, I think I'm going to relent to the fact that it just needs to. We just can't introduce order.
You mean you're going to relent to the fact?
Because I mean, so here I am. When I started off doing this broadcast, right? The people at this station. Wait a minute. You're going to do 2 hours and you're going to have nothing planned? It's impossible. You need some structure. You can't do that. I told him, watch me.
You see how that makes sense, though, in the general sphere of broadcasting, right? How it makes sense to have.
No, I don't.
Okay.
What I think is you end up getting the media that we get now.
I see.
It's contrived. It's staged. It's a show.
I would tell you, and this is not brown nosing, I would tell you that the WCPT shows are not like that. Richard's show is not like that. It's not cookie cutter.
It's performative, though, oftentimes. Not necessarily rich, but just media in general. it's performative. There's some thought put to how we're going to relay our position. It doesn't come from down deep.
Sure. I hear you.
Right.
I hear what you're saying. But I will say, though, that it depends on what you're looking at and listening to.
Some people will go off script on occasion.
Because, I mean, even though every show on WCPT has a format, it's not formulaic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. But I think there's a place for that, right? There's a place for a guest on a broadcast where you interview them and you've thought about your questions in advance.
Right.
Right. On the occasions where we've had guests, and we don't do interviews here, we just invite people to hang out with us and we talk, right? But invariably, we're going to talk about the subject matter for which they are recognized. But you know, I think that you get richer conversations when you it's not contrived. So any attempt I've ever made to try to have a contrived show or planned show, it don't work.
I think it's the way you're looking at it, though. But see, there's nothing wrong with this format because having no format is still a format.
I didn't say anything's wrong with the format. I didn't say that.
No, but I'm responding to what you said to make me say that.
I don't see any value in having. Like I shouldn't have even these questions. I should have even told you I wrote them down. Should have just.
Yeah, I mean, but
camera now.
Stuff like that, that's important to write them down. Can't go half off the cuff all the time.
In my case, I agree with you because I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget them.
Right.
But
exactly.
I didn't write them down for the sake of having a staged show. I just dumped on people. But see, I don't have any skill around building a show discussion around 8 questions or a question for that matter. Invariably, we may start off on a topic, you've seen it, and we wander off into something else for any number of reasons. So I'm not even going to try it anymore. Just going to go with it like we do.
Well, I mean, it's work. You wouldn't have been on the air for so long if it wasn't.
I would, as long as I pay them on the air.
Not necessarily true.
I am. They'll take my money and put me on the air.
You don't get to say anything, though.
I do. I get to say whatever I want
but I'm
to.
saying in ordinary circumstances, I don't think that that's true.
Well, if I worked for them, then they would have editorial control.
Sure.
But yeah, I say what I want to. And we've had arguments about me saying what I want to say.
I know.
With the station. And I told them, don't take the money then. I'll give it to somebody else. I can't work for nobody.
I know.
Remember how they were raising hell one time. Some one white dude called because I referred to Devin as our white slave.
Yeah.
Right. And he was upset. So the station calls me. They want to talk about, oh, you shouldn't do that. I'm going to do it though. we need you to stop though. I'm not. Anything else you want to talk about? And they were mad as hell at me. And I went on the air the next week and I did it again. And I've been doing it ever since. Devin is our white slave.
If I remember correctly, I think you mentioned that they asked you not to do it.
They have. And they
but I mean you mentioned it on the air like you just did.
Yeah.
Like right after it happened.
Yeah. I'm not going to. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Now I'll adhere to FCC rules. I won't swear on purpose. If I do, it's by mistake, and I have.
Sure.
I don't know why I got into all that.
Want to talk to Richard?
Okay, if you want to.
Hi, Richard.
What you want?
Hey, I just want to say that I think the only vehicle we have right now is the Democratic Party. I disagree with a lot of what they have to say. I think they locked out Bernie Sanders from 2016. The establishment of the Democratic Party fucked him over. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, we can't. Yeah, sorry,
Richard.
Rich.
We can't use those
Rich
words
was
on the
long.
air.
I think he was on hold too long. He got all wound up. Can't do that. See what happens? See what happens when it's impromptu? See? Gotta control yourself a little bit.
I mean, it happens at least once a day on this station.
Does it?
On one show, at least one show,
Really?
yeah.
don't listen. So
I know.
listen. I catch Rich in the morning sometimes, but otherwise, I don't even know who's on. Am I missing something?
I mean, I think no, because you're not even paying attention to any news now.
No.
So no, you're not missing anything.
No, I don't. And it's actually refreshing. I've been watching. Yesterday, I was watching Sanford and Son.
Stop.
Yes, sir.
What?
You big dummy.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
There's a show on Netflix called Forever. You have Netflix?
Yes. So you recommended that to me a couple of weeks ago, and I got through. It hasn't captured me, but I'm going to keep looking based on your
How many episodes did
I'm
you
in
get
3.
through?
I'm at 3.
Okay, they keep breaking up at that point, right?
They haven't yet. They haven't really gotten together yet.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, they're together, but it's new.
It gets good.
It's going to get better.
I don't know better. I don't know what your tastes are, but it takes you on a ride.
I like rides. I love rides.
Did you see? Did you watch Breaking Bad?
No.
Come on, Michelle. Come on, man.
That
makes my kidney bone.
I know, but okay, so I did 24. Did you do 24?
24 is not Breaking Bad. It's not even in the same genre.
So I should watch Breaking Bad.
Oh my God. You're talking about
That's
going
the
for
meth guy, right?
Yeah, you're talking about going for a ride, Michelle. Oh, you people on YouTube, make yourself useful.
24? You're not? No?
I mean, 24 was cool, but it wasn't like Breaking Bad. Oh my God, it wasn't like Breaking Bad. You literally at the end of every episode, right in the meat of the program, probably the middle third of all the episodes, you were like, I'll be damned. and the show would just end as something crazy.
I used to say that's some TV for your.
You ever watch a TV show and you know, well, I know he's not going to die because he's too integral to the story.
And then they die.
In this show?
Yeah, they die. Deadwood did that to me. I don't know if you ever watched that. That was an HBO show, Western, which was amazing. It was like that.
Yeah, I'll put that on my list too.
Oh my gosh. If you like Westerns.
I'm surprised you haven't seen Breaking Bad yet.
I just couldn't do it. I don't know why.
Did you start it?
No, it fits in what I would like, but I never did it. I'm getting ready to do The Wire again.
Your friends on YouTube, you do her a favor and tell her to watch Breaking Bad. You should watch it tonight. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
It's 5 freaking seasons.
Watch 1 or 2 episodes tonight. It's the definition.
Where I don't have regular TV.
It's on like
which
Netflix.
app is it on?
I think it's on Netflix.
It's not on Netflix.
Okay, Hulu then.
I don't have Hulu.
Find it, Michelle. Just find it. I think they coined the phrase binge watching off of that show because you once you start when it was on and you couldn't watch the next episode until it came out, you were like, oh my God, I got to be here for that.
My sister, God rest her soul, she loved that show. She used to talk about it all the time. That one and the Mummies. What's the Mummies one? Not the Mummies, but The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, okay. Yeah, see, my man JB said it's on Netflix. Breaking Bad.
Thank you, JB.
You got to see 1 episode, Michelle. You might stay up all night if you watch 1 episode. You go, oh my God, I got to see what happens.
I was gonna watch The Wire again.
No, watch Breaking Bad first. I promise you'll thank me for that.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Oh my God.
If I send you a text at 3:00 in the morning, it's because I'm still watching it.
Tell me what
I'm
episode.
Sorry, Tiffany.
Tell me what
if
episode.
I wake you up.
Let me know what episode you're on. I might get up and watch it with you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that was the.
Now I'm all nervous and stuff.
So what's the actor's name who played the teacher in that?
Cranston.
Yeah. Okay. So brilliant actor.
Yes,
So he played. He depicted.
He was a nerdy guy in a sitcom. He was a dad. Didn't he play a dad?
I think so, but he played Lyndon B. Johnson in a movie.
Oh.
If you can find that, boy, his betrayal, his portrayal of Lyndon Johnson, spot on.
I got to do Breaking Bad. Don't introduce too many things at one time.
I'm going to try to introduce as much as I can. I'm going to try to do that. So look, let me first off, you want to do something for the golf outing before I do this?
Yes, August 1st, Friday, August 1st in Salem, Wisconsin, Spring Valley Country Club.
It's near Lake Geneva, so you should make a
It's
weekend
near
of it.
Lake Geneva. If you want to stay at Lake Geneva, you have until Tuesday to book a room for our special room rates. If you'd like to do that, Tuesday, and then they go up to $500. But we're going to have some of the students for those of you who are new to, because we got a whole lot of new people in the chat room, names I've never seen before. I'm very excited about that.
You're whispering like they can't hear you. Okay, you got like 3 minutes, Michelle.
Okay. All right. So, we raise money for scholarships. Eric raises money for scholarships for high school students that go to
It's
Northern.
for any high school student.
Any high school student. And we're going to have some high school students actually out on the golf course with us on Friday, August 1st. So you can talk to them and they can talk to you because we want them to be around some business people so that they can ask them questions. We're excited. We have some extra games for people who don't play golf. And we've got a Harley Davidson. We've got virtual reality. We've got a Harley Davidson.
3 Harleys. We're giving away 3 Harley
Three Harleys for hole in one. We have we're going to raffle off a Hawaiian trip for a week.
Round of golf at the golf course.
Yes, you get a year's
I think it's $1,000
membership. $2,000 prizes.
Yeah.
So we got some good stuff. So come on out, and there's going to be good food, and Eric's going to be there. I'll be there, but I'll be driving the golf cart.
My son Malcolm said that I should bring my DJ gear out there.
Oh yes, that would be amazing. It'll just be us out there. You should do it.
We'll see.
I agree. So thank you guys. And if you can't come, consider giving us a donation. The money, 100% of the money goes to the kids.
No overhead. It all goes to the kids.
Goes to the kids.
Yeah. Plus, it'll be a good time too.
So much fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. Doesn't take much though, does it?
No, I'm a happy person for the most part.
Michelle's just one big tickle. One big tickle.
That tickled me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm going to see if I can do my best this week to put those questions up on our social media, but if not, I didn't. Whatever.
Well, you have help in the office.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so all the time we have, I want to thank you for yours. Tune into the family meeting every Sunday at 4. I am your host, and that's Michelle. Peace.
You can be my big daddy. Take it slowly. Every whole night. Tiny daddy. You can be my big daddy.
Anytime I spend quality time. Cute face, haircut, like the Halle design. Keep my dad laced up with fly getting makeup. But you should see her when she wake up. Never could we break up.
That's a wrap, guys. See you next week.
Yeah, man. See you.
Sexy and hot, so she can look good for FD. Overweight, love an MC. Rub you gently. You know it's Steve, big CEO, sex OT. Mac game, similar next.
You'll thank me for that.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
all right.
In addition to it just being a good cliffhanger, it's very good acting. It's very good writing.
Okay, so I'll do that. You do Deadwood.
Okay. I can do that. You gotta get into it forever too.
I didn't break up with it completely. I just let a few days go by.
We just saw the last episode last night.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Did it end like? Don't tell me.
Tell
me, no.
They got another season coming.
Oh,
yeah.
Same couple?
Yeah, they got another season coming.
All right.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Do you look at Reasonable Doubt?
I do. Are we done? We're done.
I don't know. I thought so. I just assumed. I don't know why. We don't have to be.
We're done. We're done. Michelle got to go drop a load, y'all.
It's a number 1, not a number 2.
You got to go drop a load. You don't want to be here for that. It's a sight to see.
Stop it.
They're going to have to repaint the bathroom.
You're a horrible person.
Repaint the whole bathroom. What happened in here? Michelle dropped a load.
They would only know if you told them it's Sunday. We can bounce and nobody will ever know it was me.
We can get out of here quickly. All right, y'all.
Bye.